Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to Trading Tips with ForexAnalytix. I'm glad to have you here today because today I think we're going to talk about some topics that are at the top of the list that traders want to talk about. How come I keep getting stopped out and the trade continues for me? And how come I take profits and then the market continues to run? How does that keep happening to me? Well, we're going to talk about both of those subjects in just a few short minutes. But before I do, let me mention, if you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel below. We add videos to this channel all the time, our trading tips videos. Hopefully it'll help you become a better trader. Also, make sure you give us a thumbs up, like this video. It makes me feel happy. It makes our editorial team feel happy. So we much appreciate it. All right, let's talk about those specific topics. And I'm going to give you a couple tips that might help you out moving forward. So, you're in a trade. Doesn't matter what you're trading. You're trading an option, you're trading a stock, cryptocurrency, fiat currency, whatever you're trading. You're in a trade, and and every time you get into a trade, you put in a stop, and you get stopped out. You take a loss, and you're like, ah, and then the market continues in the direction that you originally thought because your gut instinct was correct. Does that ever happen to you? Of course it has. It's happened to me a million times. But when it happens to me often, how do I combat that? Well, I'll tell you what I do. I actually make my positions smaller and then I widen my stops. I know a lot of traders that actually do not put in stop loss orders. I don't recommend that. And if you remember several years ago when the Swiss National Bank actually removed the floor that they were protecting in the dollar Swiss, in the euro Swiss, excuse me. Yeah, once you see something like that happen, you're always going to keep in a stop because you need to preserve your account. But if you feel like you're getting stopped out too often, that means that the market's kind of got your number. So try this. Take a smaller position, widen your stops a little bit, so this way you can avoid those little fluctuations and dips that hit you before your gut instinct takes over and your trade would have been right. So, smaller position size, wider stops. That'll help avoid you getting stopped out, in my opinion. Let's talk about topic number 2. So, topic number 2, let's say you buy a currency or you short a currency, whatever you're trading. And then you're in a nice profitable position, you're riding it, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I need to take profits. It's gone too far. So you book profits, and then what happens? Well, if you would have stayed in that trade, that probably would have been the best trade of the quarter for you, maybe even of the year. So how do you avoid getting out of that? Because you know what happened? Both greed and fear played a role in that trade. You might say, hey Blake, well, or may ask, hey Blake, I was in a profitable trade. How was I fearful? Well, the reason why you were fearful is because you were fearful of letting those profits get away from you, right? So the way I like to combat those types of situations is when I'm in a profitable trade, try taking a half or maybe a third of your position off the table. Then move your stops to break even. Then you conquer both greed and fear. Greed, obviously you book some profits. Once you book profits, even if it's just a quarter or a half or a third of your position, you feel better. The greed factor subsides. Then move your stops to break even. Because when you move your stops to break even, you've now gotten rid of the fear that you're going to lose those profits. You've at least booked some, and then you put those profits back in your pocket, move your stops to break even. You don't have to worry about taking a loss from there, and that fear factor of losing your profits subsides as well. So try that next time you trade the markets. So remember, if you like tips like this, make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel below so you don't miss our next trading tips video with ForexAnalytix. My name is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.